Looks like that pineapple-wielding atheist from Australia has done his ankles again. This is Tell Someone. First question, of course, is from Harvey Wasalis. Are you ever going to put all the questions and answers in your show into one book? Well, it would be 703 pages long, so I might want to do it in 2 books. But the problem with that is that I would have to actually do all the work in watching all of my videos again and then write down all of the questions and all of the answers and then I'd have to actually get it put into print and then I'd sell 3 copies and no. Unless somebody else is going to do the work and pay for it, no. I do need money, though. Next question, of course, is from Quavi River. I will hide in DT's moustache, wine and lots of food. What kind of crops did you plant this year? I didn't plant any crops this year. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay there and whether I will be able to be there when the crops are ready to be harvested. I think that was from lunch. Ooh, chilly. Next question, of course, is from Jonathan Stern. If happiness really is finding a pencil, pizza with sausage, and or telling the time. Well, happiness is what you make of it. Happiness is whatever makes you happy personally. I cannot judge, and unless it's doing something extremely illegal, and don't do that, especially if it makes other people unhappy. Don't make other people unhappy. And that's all subjective anyway. So don't, because they're going to make you unhappy. Unless them being unhappy will make you happy. Then you're a bad person. You don't want to be a bad person unless you want to be a bad person. A lot of people these days want to be a bad person. Fuck. Next question, of course, is from Endochrome. Did everything come up Milhouse? Well, we all know who Milhouse is now, hopefully. Hopefully we all know who he is, and that the lovely lady who did his voice is retiring after 25 years or 38 years or something really ridiculously long. And he's for a cartoon character, he's had a lot of airtime and a lot of screen time, more than many cartoon characters that have had a really long cartoons. And that's okay. That's good if you gay for Milhouse, because nobody's gay for Mole Man, so they must be gay for Milhouse, if you know what I mean. But Milhouse doesn't count. Next question, of course, is from Canadian Atheist. I have confused my eye drops container with a superglue container. What are the possible consequences? Well, look, the problem is those little model planes. They're going to see very well, and they're not going to be bloodshot. So there are no consequences unless you want your model planes to be bloodshot. Obviously. Harvey Wasalis asked the last question for the day because my arm is getting tired because I couldn't carry my tripod while I was carrying my crutches because I have a bit of an ankle problem today. Right. The Kings are better than the Beatles, discuss. Okay, well, okay, so I can't be the judge of this. I am not the judge of this because, quite frankly, I'm not like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something. I mean, I could, I could just go by the numbers that they had on the charts and the length that careers they had and their after effects globally in the music industry. But yeah, that can help in judging the thing, in judging the content. But I don't know. I don't know. There's only one real way of really judging the long-term effects of any band within the last 60 years. And that, I believe, is the one artist that has been able to stand the test of time. And of course, I'm talking about Weird Al. Weird Al isn't here today because he didn't come because I don't know the number of his agent, and he's not in Australia, and he's busy, and I don't know what his appearance fees are, and it's probably a lot. And I'm just a YouTuber who sometimes gets 1,000 views and stuff. So he didn't come, but I can extrapolate from Weird Al's body of work. So I'll look it up. You see, right. So the Kinks had several hits, as far as I know, and Weird Al had one hit song from the Kinks, Oeuvre, and that was Yoda from, because that was Lola, except he made it about Star Wars, and was a good one. It was one of his good ones. Whereas the Beatles, with the Beatles, you had, like, he turned Taxman into Pac-Man, because they're playing Pac-Man, and etc. And then there was Gee, I'm a Nerd, which was Free as a Bird, which was that one they recorded long after John Lennon died. But John Lennon was dead at the time, so it probably doesn't actually count as an actual Beatles song. It was like a McCartney song, like over the top of a Lennon song. Well, a Lennon song that was completed by Paul McCartney, rather than one that's just written by Lennon, which was, which is not in the spirit of the Beatles, because a lot of the Beatles songs was like Lennon and McCartney, but only Lennon wrote it, or only McCartney wrote it. So, like, a true collaboration is not really a Beatles song, I think. So that's not, that doesn't quite count as a Beatles song. So that makes it a tie. But there's one song that Weird Al tried to do. One song that Weird Al tried to do, but he couldn't do. That was Chicken Pot Pie, which was like Live and Let Die, like the tune of Live and Let Die, but it was about chicken pot pie instead. But like Paul McCartney is like vegan, like really vegan, like. You can't use my works to promote meat, even though like Live and Let Die was about killing people, used in a song about killing people, but that doesn't count because James Bond didn't eat those people, and because James Bond didn't eat those people, that doesn't quite count either, and so Paul McCartney wouldn't give him clearance to use that song as the basis for even though he wanted to have his song parody by Weird Al, he couldn't have it like that because it was about like chickens being like put into a pie and eaten. So he couldn't do that. So, which is a pity because Weird Al had this thing where he had those little squeezy chicken that go "Bwah!" and he was gonna have the chorus being "Bark, bark, 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 bark," and so forth, and it was going to be brilliant, but he couldn't find a chicken-based song to parody that, so he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't find a concept. Maybe he should try not having just not being hungry when he writes music. That's what I'm saying. So in order to try to break the tie, I'm going to try to do one. Okay? Okay. When you're young, chicken just amongst the flock. They say to try crossing that road, but in this ever-changing road in which you're crossing makes you wonder why. The other side, when you're a little rooster, and you got a road to cross, you gotta cross it well. You gotta do it for the hills. And that's it for Tell Someone for this week. If you would like to ask me a question, then ask me a question in the question asking place below. Or you can answer this dovetail question. And you know, apart from that, you can do other things like just leave a comment. That's engagement. YouTube likes me to have engagement, and so you can do that. Or you can answer the dovetail question, or you can ask a question of your own, or you can do other things. You know, I'm not the boss of you, and you're not the boss of me, and I'm obviously not Weird Al. So that's the other thing that's there. It was probably the Beatles. They sold more, and they made. I mean, Michael Jackson didn't buy the Kinks. That's what I'm saying. Of course, then Michael Jackson went bankrupt. I'm dangerously talented. I don't have a cool sign-off.